All right, one, two, three. We're here with Camilo. How you doing, Camilo? Owner of BetaJets, hosted by myself, Michael, and Ian at the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here, Camilo. We know you for a while. I didn't know Ian went to school with you. I had no idea, but I've seen you from the beginning on Instagram, as you already know. So that's awesome. It's a pleasure to have you.
Lynn University graduates.
Oh yeah, was it Lynn?
Yeah,
nice.
Up in Boca, like, Camilo, right now, where are you? You're in Boca, right? In your office?
I'm in Opa-lawka right now. Opa-lawka.
Oh, damn! I'm losing track. You got so many different like HQs set up, you know, like Opa-lawka. All right.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the invite.
Oh, come on. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Yeah, so Camilo, I wanted to ask you, I mean, a bunch of things. I'm happy that you're on here. You know, we've known you for a while. We just established, I didn't know you went to Lynn University with Ian. That's pretty cool. So I assume you guys known each other even prior to like getting into your own businesses, I assume, right?
Yeah, definitely.
When did you start BetaJets? And I'd love for you to maybe introduce yourself prior to that. Like, who is Camilo? What's the focus? Like, if to someone that doesn't know you, how did you get to where you are? Just some background on yourself.
Yeah, of course, of course. So yeah, my name is Camilo. I'm the CEO of BetaJets. Raised and born in Colombia, came to the States when I was 15. And then the story starts right, you know, with the culture change here and the blessing of being in this country back in 2001. So from the moment I got here, you know, we went to, I'm from Boca, so we grew up in Boca. And the mentality here completely changed, you know, what was going to be the life of Camilo in Colombia versus the life of Camilo here. So long story short, I've been working since I was 15. I've always had a job, but from every job I've had, I've been fired. So I was fired.
I'm sorry, you said you've been what? Oh, fired.
Yeah, fired.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's something that, you know, at the beginning, people think, oh, dude, this guy's a mess. Like, he's been fired from every single job. But at the end of the day, like, you can either take the bad things or the good things. And what I've always taken in my life is obviously, and it's a learning curve from you know, from realizing that it's a blessing. You know, everything's a blessing. So, and everything turns into wisdom. So for me, that was the case. Yeah, at the beginning, Camilo was you know, a mess.
A while.
Yeah.
So you were finding yourself, and that's the entrepreneurial like lane, right? Like, you start here, you leave there, but you get something from it. You go here, you learn something there, and then you're like, wait, I'm an entrepreneur. I got a few pieces to the puzzle right here. Let me slap some more together. Now here's BetaJets, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the last job where I started my career in aviation, I wasn't fired from that one. That's when I quit, took the leap, and started BetaJets.
Okay, so that's where you like align, like you were passionate about that. You knew it was for you. Around what time was this when you found out, like, okay, Jets aviation is coming?
So my career was going to be more into sales, and I wanted to be, you know, you're in New York. I love your accent, bro. And I've always wanted to sell stocks. I wanted to be like selling. I've always loved selling. So I'm like, shit, I got to go to New York, or I have to like get involved in something. So in Boca, there was a commodity firm that was doing some sales. So, you know, I applied, and then I always wanted to be a pilot. So I was like, shit, how do I put the sales and the aviation together? And then that's when I learned there's something called aviation brokerage. And back in the day, Blue Star Jets was on Blue Star Jet was one of the biggest companies. They were doing 200 mil a year, and I got in, you know, excited, and I'm like, shit, I can do both. I can be in aviation, and I can be in business, and I can do sales. So I started with them. Then I transferred to another company down here in Miami, and then I took the leap and went to BetaJets and did, you know, founded BetaJets.
Yeah, you founded BetaJets. And what year around was that?
That was 2012.
I was gonna say like 2010, 2011, because I remember around that time, yeah, we were hanging out.
Yeah. So when I started in the industry, it was 2008 when the recession hit. It was a little crazy, just because everybody's cutting on cost. But at the end of the day, I proved myself, and I knew I was selling. So if you can sell in 2008, recession's going to hit right now in a few months or whatever.
Yeah.
I think if
We're
you can
good.
sell,
Like, I'm good.
period,
I'm already
you'll
prepared.
do well in any
Yes.
business that you're passionate about, and that's
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
If you align
Yeah,
with something, yeah, the authenticity is there. Like I'm good with that too. Like you are, like psychology, communication, people. Like I looked at this bottle. I could sell these bottles, and I'll sell 1 million of these this year. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
whatever.
Camilos like me, like back then, well, more educated, but like me, when I used to like work at Lamborghini Miami with Brett, like people would buy cars from me and they would ask me, hey, what's the horsepower in this Ferrari? And I'm like, I have no clue, but it's Ferrari. And they were like, done. I'm sending you the wire,
They like
because you trust me and they like me, that's it.
Exactly. It's a people to people thing, especially when you get in that level of luxury. Like when you're in that lower, not to be like that, I love everything, but just in general speaking, right? When you're selling, let's say, that guy is going to ask you every single question about every nook and cranny and then give you 10 grand for the car, or 20 grand for whatever it may be. But when you're dealing with that $500,000 car, the guy's kind of already educated, right? They don't need to know every little thing. They're like, yo, I need to just bring it to my house tomorrow, man. Here's 500.
Already knows you, yeah, and that's it. It's like I've sent so many wires in the past. Okay, I'll take this next one too. Like that's it.
Yeah, that's the end.
I think the three of us, we understand what the luxury market is. I was selling knives when I was in college. When I was at Lynn, I was selling knives, and that taught me, you think, and obviously a Lynn boy, Lynn is kind of like the private school from Boca, and I love
going up in Ferraris and Rolls Royces, going to school with their classes. I remember, yeah.
And my thing was like sales. So I was like, what can I do during this summer? And I'm like, all right, let's find out, what could make money. Obviously, the money, like the mindset has shifted. And at the beginning, it was money, money, money. Now, obviously, with the time and the years, everything transforms. And now the money is not something that drives me. It's more like a result of the passion that I have for what I do, right?
The fulfillment, right? That's what's fulfilling. The money initially, it's cool. It fulfills you. It fills the gaps. I can go buy a dinner now, buy a car now. But after you do it, it's like, all right, what's really driving me today to really do this, right? And then the relationships too. I feel like you and I always stay kind of connected. Of course, you're not in New York. I'm not always in Miami, but I feel if we were in that area, I'd see you more. I'd be in touch with you more because I have that passion like you share too with jets and all that and all that. But and it's relationships, I feel like, for you. Once you get into that realm, especially with jets, it's like, okay, I got 20, 30 really good friends that are just going to spend $500,000 to $1 million plus a year on jets. And the money is a byproduct of it. It's really like a community of 30 really good relationships, right?
100%. 100%. I totally agree on that. And it's their relationship. And then, so obviously, you have to have a passion. You have to have something that drives you on a daily basis. Like I said, I've gone through winters, and winters are amazing because it really builds you and it shows who you are. But then it comes to realization that the summer's going to come eventually, and then you're going to go back to winter. It's life. There's cycles.
Yeah. By the way, Camilo was the first person that told me Cristiano Ronaldo is following you, and he also follows BetaJets.
Yeah.
You know who Cristiano is? And I'm like, I don't follow sports, man, but he sounds like a cool guy. He's the most followed person on Instagram right now. He's
following number one account for years, years. I like to brag about that, but thank you for bringing it up.
Now, wait, he follows BetaJets too, or just Billionaires?
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
follows
No,
Vida. Oh,
yeah,
that's
he
amazing,
follows
bro.
BetaJets.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So we're not like a big account. We're very like obviously our niche and that's one of the things that happened to me at the beginning. I wanted to do cars. I wanted to have Vida Auto. I wanted to have Vida Yachts. I wanted to do everything. I just wanted to eat the world.
Yeah.
And then you learn. And then you're like, you either channel your energy into what's your passion and what you really know what to do. And you can basically master that over the years. You can close your eyes and you can book flights. You can book a private jet in a heartbeat. So
100%.
I've gone to bed and then I wake up and I'm like, shit, I actually booked a flight, before going to bed. No, it's reality. And it just happens automatically. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, I've been there myself, and you know that, and I feel like Jets is always going to be something I'm going to be in touch with you about, Ian, I talked to you the other week about it with, whatever. But yeah, I feel that vibe, bro. You almost want to do everything, but you got to keep the main thing the main thing. Like I'm listening to this book right now. I do Audible books, High Performance Habits by this guy, Brandon Bouchard. Amazing. And there's like this 80-20% rule, or, or not just to go dive into that principle, but just keeping the main thing is what like the most successful people do, so I love that. And I'm sure you've seen that when you get up tomorrow, you could probably charter a yacht too, but it's better, or charter a Lamborghini or rent one rather, but it's better to just stay super zoned and focused on that main thing, right? And become the best and a master, like the word you used. Yeah.
When I realized that, the partnerships that I've made are much, much better. Like you introduce, like I have the car people, like the exotic cars, the yachts, real estate, the luxury market. It's already there. They know what they're doing. So for me, it's easier to just refer the business and
vice versa, they refer to you too,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all a cycle, and it's rewarded. So, and even if it's not rewarded, it feels good to just refer people.
It does, and it feels good to get referrals, right? Too.
We put out good intentions out there. That's what you're gonna get,
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I want to tell a story with when we started with the relationship. Well, and we were like, what could we do in the aviation world? And we decided to like brand. Remember, we branded the app, the Billionaires Club for Jet. I forgot.
I remember
So
that.
when we did that, the system crashed because it was so organic back in the day, 2013, 2014, that all the leads would come through the Billionaires Club, all the flyers and people just people even if they didn't fly, we crashed the app because that happened in the middle of purely organic traffic and out of Instagram. So it's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah,
I mean, for Cristiano to start following both of our accounts, like back in the day, like that's
no, and right now, and it's one thing that he starts following, but you got to keep up with the content for him to keep on following throughout all these years. Like every time he sees a story, I'm like, screenshot.
Yeah, no, it's very dope. It's very dope. I love it. So Camilo, let me ask you, for those listening, like when you said, I'm going to focus on just jets, I understand that time around then. What was like the process of building that company for those that are interested in jets and want to focus on that, et cetera? Someone that like is aspiring to be like BetaJets, not to you to build competitors, but you know what I mean? What would you say to that person that's like, that's my dream too? What would you say is the path? Like when you started BetaJets, you said I founded it. How was that process in the beginning?
Crappy. The beginning is crappy, man. It's you think it's when you talk about private aviation, it's a genuine talk, and you can have a sexy talk with people about private jets. It's not like I'm a stockbroker and how many shares do you have in this company? And then I'm trying to like size you up on it. it's, like talking about cars, like you love a Lambo, you love Ferrari, you love a Bugatti, Pagani, etc. Like with jets, it's a very small percentage of the population that talk about jets, and you don't have to like really do much. It's very natural conversation.
Yeah.
The way I started it was obviously, like I said, I was fusioning my sales and my passion, which is aviation. And then from there, I just took off. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew the business as a salesperson, but I didn't know as a business person what I had to do. And then I took small steps. I hit myself with a lot of bumps in the road, and then little by little, just sticking to your roots and sticking to what your values are was what's going to take you to the next level. I think it's a work in progress, and you're never going to get to a place that you want to, because you always want more. And it's not about being greedy or trying to, like I said at the beginning, eat the world, but it's more about, just being grateful, and then just knowing that your path can bring more like your pipeline just grows and grows if you're doing the right thing.
It's true. Like,
so
I'm chasing myself 10 years from now, and when I get there, I'm going to be chasing my other future self 10 more years from now, so it's like you're always gonna keep growing, so that's
I think that, and then going back to the question, it's important to know that they say the more the merrier, but for me it's I don't know how to say it, but I've had 15 brokers in my office back in the day. And, I thought that was the mentality. I had to have, a lot of people, everybody on the phone. Like I said, like Wall Street, just everybody calling. I've watched so many movies. So to me, that was the dream. And when I got to a point, and I'm like, no, one of the things that it happened at my previous firm was I was top producer, but everybody was like, Camilo's not making calls. And I'm like, you're not cold calling. And I'm like, listen, I don't cold call. I smart dial. And they're like, what the fuck is that? Like, what's smart dialing? And then I'm like, yeah, you do a smart call. You do the research. You do 20 calls a day, but you make sure that you once you do that call, you're going to sound smooth. You're going to know about the prospect. You're going to do everything that you're supposed to do, but you're not doing in all these 100 to 150. Some people are doing 300 calls.
Yeah.
And some Instagram gurus are still preaching about that.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, it does
does
pertain to the product or service, of course. Like, very well what you're selling. A private jet, you really do want to talk to 20 guys, 20 women, whatever. It's the specific community, instead of wasting 90% on people that they never even, spent, they're trying to buy the coach seats, not even the first class ones, or whatever it may be. Yeah. So I feel you too with that. 100%. So you learn how to optimize it. You started with that group of people. Now you're down to like 3 to 4 to 5 really good, like ninjas, right? Like they just know what to do, how to optimize their time. So I appreciate you saying that. It's awesome to know. I didn't even know that it's 10 plus years like old, the company. It's pretty amazing. So kudos to you with doing that.
We're completing a decade in September 26th of this year.
Oh, amazing.
Remember,
amazing. Yeah.
I opened the company on 2012, September 26th.
Yes.
And on October 1st, I had my first trip. Remember, Toronto to Opelika.
I remember I was like, yo, I'm so proud of you, man. Like, you're an entrepreneur. You just started your own company. Let's start doing more stuff, and then,
It's cool. It's
yeah.
it's a marathon.
It's a marathon. Yeah, man. It's amazing. So let me ask you, like today, your primary focus is just jets. You're selling or you're chartering or you're doing both?
We're chartering.
Just
And
chartering.
then yeah, and we have a partner company that does the acquisition.
I love that.
Exactly.
And I respect that. You know, it's interesting how that trait, that quality is. It kind of goes across horizontally as a person. Like you don't eat too much. You eat how much you should. You don't overdo the run. You run at the right pace. You know what I mean? You don't
Oh yeah.
overdo. You very. That's a luxury trait itself. You know, so pretty cool. I hear you getting blown up. You got a lot of jets to charter, man. Well, Camilo, let me ask you. So I'm happy to hear that. Like I said, I think it's awesome, and I love that you shared some of those, obstacles, let's say, throughout the process, et cetera. You learn this, you learn that. Not to jump around, but I want to ask you. We found this quite interesting with previous, podcast episodes. What is like your morning routine that's keeping Camilo so focused over these now 9 plus, going to 10 years with building your company?
So one of the things that I've always done is wake up early. I wake up around between 4 and 5 a.m. I don't have an alarm clock. I don't put an alarm clock because, my body's already used to it. So I wake up, I meditate, and then from meditation, I go and hit the workout. I've been doing this, I've been doing that routine for years. I've done, I love exercising. So for me, it's been something that keeps my energy going. Triathlon is what I'm training for. So I have, those seasons where I go hard. And for example, I'm starting right now my season, which is, a little bit later than what I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to start in the beginning of the year, but hey, I started it. I have two 70.3s coming up, and then I might be doing a full Ironman in November. I just had this conversation at the track this morning. So yeah, it's more like that routine is what really keeps me going. And even if I'm not exercising, I'm still waking up really early.
I love it. I love it. I want to ask you a few deeper questions into that because there's a lot of value in that. But let me ask you from a macro scope real quick on that 24-hour schedule, let's say. And of course, days change, right? But you're getting up at 4 to 5. That's amazing. Meditating, working out, and then I assume, eat a great breakfast, this and that, and then you hit your office. Are you working? Let me just ask you, I'm quite interested. Are you working in like block times when you're in the office? Are you starting at 9 to 12 lunch and then 1 to 5, and then you go home, have dinner, relax, kind of reverse or parallel what you did in the morning? Do you like work out and kind of like relax to like roll down or like, calm yourself down to then go to sleep, almost meditate again prior to going to sleep? Or what's like, give me a brief, you don't need detail because of course,
no. So as far as the office schedule goes, I did it for so long. I did the 9 to 9, 9 to 10.
We're about to say 9 to 5. You're like, nope, 9 to like 1 in the morning.
No,
entrepreneurs 24/7. Even when you're not in the office, you're still working. Like
especially with
there was days where like I started the day. I did the whole thing. Everybody left. Everybody like people came back, and I was wearing the same clothes. And they're like, well, what happened? I'm like, I'm just working. And literally it was obviously, I didn't like to do that all the time. Nowadays, I value sleep so much, and I know the importance of sleep. That thing that, you sleep when you die, it kind of like, it's a little cliche, and some people like to preach about it. For me, again, I'm talking from experience because I went through all these phases where I was, just hustling 12, 14, 16 hours days, and I was going, 24 hours, no sleep. But now at this moment, you're asking me about office hours, and I don't have office hours. I work, I make sure I have my calendar and I know exactly what's going on throughout the day. And then I work openly. I can be, just kind of like chilling for till noon. And then I might go for lunch, and then I have a few operations going. I control them from my either my office or my house, and then I go and just fully go full power like around 9 p.m. So if I'm working in Europe, because that's another thing, I work a lot of different time zones. So if I'm working in Europe, and I'll activate myself a little bit later. So I don't really have an office time, but when it comes down to like being able to control my sleep, I'll try to go to bed around 9 p.m.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Really, I'm working hard on getting stuck to that 5 a.m. time. And I'm very much so, you have to reverse it a bit. You have to focus not so much on getting up, but when you go to sleep, right? Logically, so I'm happy you touched on that. And I love to hear that you're at that state mentally. Of course, you're still developing as an entrepreneur, but I've studied through like very, very successful people. They reach this level that it's innate. Like they don't need the alarm clock. They get up at 4, like you said, or they don't need a 9 to 5. They can do what they need to do, prioritize what they need to do, and they have kind of like that note, like they'll take notes of what's priority. They focus on their priorities, but they float. I heard this term that they just tend to float around, in a sense. They're at this level where they're able to make $1 billion, but they're able to really float for 90% of the day. They'll work out, they'll have a smoothie at 1:30 p.m. by the water, and the guy's making $1 billion a year, but it's so wired in. So to keep priorities, and they kind of float a bit, like the Jeff Bezos of the world. When you catch them, they have this mentality that they're just like, they're not even walking, or like, it's crazy. Like they're just floating through.
And when you're synced and when you're connected, when you're like on work mode, like you are freaking killer. Like you will do stuff that not a lot of people will do. So that's how I see myself. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't really have
that structure.
I have time frames where I know, if I have to get activated, I'll do it. And it's been working for me. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to ask, and we kind of alluded to it earlier, but I'd love if you could detail it a bit further, because I think this could be very valuable too. And I'm quite interested myself. I'm sure Ian is too. What kind of obstacles did you find? And we kind of touched on it, but if there's any more detail or anything that comes top of mind, no pressure. Did you find from the beginning of starting BetaJets to this very moment? You touched on a bunch of different things. What would you say were really like, this held me. This was something I wish I did a bit earlier, or, any sort of real, pinnacle obstacle that you could maybe, reference. So I feel like that we've asked this previously.
I think,
amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see if I can turn the camera. Hold on. No, I can't turn. Oh yeah. I wanted to show you guys something. Sorry about, I don't want to. Look at this.
What is that, a Falcon?
That's a Challenger. Look at that paint job. Sorry, guys.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
So,
I don't see too many black private planes out there. That looks pretty.
Sorry to interrupt, but the question.
The question was crazy. I hear you. What is that? A Challenger? What?
No, it's a Challenger 601. All right. So the question, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah. I get distracted. I love jets, and like I said before, not every day we're seeing challenges outside the window. So it's cool you got that going on. But I was just just anything that comes top of mind that you found to be very much so obstacle through your process that you would say to another entrepreneur, like, this is something, don't sleep on this. Like this is a pinnacle obstacle I had to learn,
So there's a lot of things. So obviously it's been 10 years. So I've learned, I think, a lot throughout these 10 years. One of the most important things is really like build that value that you have for the company and for yourself. At the end of the day, it's your values, and then they will reflect in your company, and exactly the same, your company will reflect in you, right? So knowing those trigger points and as far as who you do business with is critical. Picking the right partners will save you tons of money and will save you a lot of time, which is one of the it's part of our logo, it's part of our DNA, it's part of our BetaJets. It's time flies. So picking the right partners can save you a lot of that, a lot of headaches, uh, because at the end of the day, you want to do a lot of business, and yeah, I can be selling tons of flights, but we're very, I came to a realization that it's not like just sell. It's you just pick who you want to sell to and pick who you want to do business with. There's a point in your life when you can have the luxury of doing that, but for now, but that's now. Before, I was just doing trips and private charters with
Yeah.
different operators that
Like, I'm always available. I'm always available, right?
always
It's
available.
that luxury where you'll stay always available, but for those you want to be always available for, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We have that going on with us. Certain companies were like they'll buy promotions or do whatever, and they want to talk to you morning, noon, and night. They're the most, right? And then there's some guys that are just such a pleasure, and it's like, you know what? Let's not even accept that money. Like, it's we love we love what we're doing, but they just bring this energy that's just not what we're looking to wake up to.
beautiful. It's like that. And when you get to that point, you're like, shit. I think I've conquered something here. There's something happening interesting in my life where I can just, you just start picking your clients and you can start picking your partners, and you're not doing business just to do business. You're doing business with a purpose. So that's really business with a purpose is something that I highly recommend. Find your purpose, find the values in.
That was
Yeah.
amazing. I like that, man.
I'll say
Yeah, I
that a
love
lot.
this question. This is the second time we asked this. We asked it. We did an episode with Mark Chris. He owns a Loafer company, etc. He's in Miami.
I love Mark Chris. I have custom made shoes from him that says BetaJets.
Oh, dope. Okay, cool. Yeah, I asked him that question, and he gave us some real valuable, stuff there. So I'm happy you just did too. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see you again. When you're in New York, man, let me know. I'd love lunch or dinner on me.
Of course.
The link. Yeah, and vice versa when I'm in the area. I'll grab Ian or come over. I know you guys are so busy, so you guys probably see each other here and there. But Ian mentioned you do
running club. I'll see you over here.
Yes.
How to do the running club.
I didn't go last night either, so that was just me putting pressure on you, But yeah, let me know.
But yeah, Camilo, I really want to thank you for coming on and giving us the time, sharing some time with us. We love you over here. We're always here to support you and stuff. So it's all love.
Likewise.
Right? Keep doing your thing. All right, my man? Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
You got it.
Yeah, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Ciao. Thank you for watching this episode. We upload a new episode every Friday at 5 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. We as well greatly appreciate those that have subscribed to the channel. We appreciate the love and the support. Lastly, if you've missed last week's episode, tune into the episode right here.